What makes me angry is when you have a very nicely written story or book or whatever you may have it, and you just twist it to however you want it instead of how it's supposed to go. Like, one instance, which isn't all too popular for a reason, is Vampire Academy. That's a movie that came about because of a book, and it was terrible. It wasn't popular. It was a terrible movie. I mean, the books were pretty well liked, but the movie was it was garbage. It focused too much on the wrong aspects. Like popular movies these days, they need to focus on the romance and the hot men and the sexy women and how they come together and have all this. Like, no, that's not the story. The story is about this really kick-ass woman who just owns all these vampires, but has a slight she has a little weak spot, but that's all right. She gets over it. Or they take the same movie, and instead of following the book, they just cut out the first and second book and just shove them together. And that's a big no-no. You miss all of the important information that leads up to the second story because you just want to speed it up. I mean, Frankenstein does that. Most movies that have to do with Frankenstein will cut out the entire first half of the book, which is focusing around Victor Frankenstein and his love of his mother and this intense need to create life and see if he has some control to bring back this woman that he loves so much. And they just cut to, he made a monster and it goes crazy and it kills things. And they just throw him into the role of mad scientist when he's actually this deep, complex character who means well by the whole thing. But he's so blinded by love and this intense need for a mother that he creates something terrible. And I think it's a bit of a story about becoming independent. And because even in the end of the book has Frankenstein meeting his monster once again on a boat, I believe it was, in this freezing area, and then Victor, they get into the fight, he gets stabbed, etc., and he dies. But the monster needs Victor so much that he can't live without him, so the monster kills himself and lets the both of them die, because it's the same thing, and it's this big element to the story, but they leave it out for the monster movie. So I mean, that's a big issue, is that they're all trying to cater to what the audience wants, instead of giving them what the audience actually wants, which is a movie from the book. Not a movie that might have something possibly to do with the book. So that's my intense rage about adaptations. There's very few adaptations that are actually good. One that I can remember off the top of my head that was truly good was Bridge to Terebithia. I read the book when I was really young, and the movie came out shortly after, and it was spot on. It had all the elements. They did not skirt around the point where one of the characters dies. They didn't it's for a younger audience, maybe we shouldn't. No, they killed her. She was dead. And you felt that same amount of depression. They put everything in. It was great, and I was so happy. Even because they don't do that with all kids' movies. Stuart Little, actually, didn't follow the book. In the book, Stuart Little meets a Barbie doll outside, and they talk and they live together for a bit, and then he moves on. That was not in the movie. It was a part of the book. The book was really good, actually. Oddly enough, the book was amazing. It was so much fun, but they ruined it just for laughs.